Hi, friends. Sorry, Farley is being an actual menace right now, and I need him to stop. He is a lot. How are y'all doing, though? Hi, Luna. Hi, Travis. Hi, anyone else who might be out there. I said I was gonna stream today. On Monday. I said I was gonna stream today. The day that is Wednesday. And here we are. Actually doing that for once. That's exciting. Almost didn't stream today, but I was like, you know what? I do wanna. I just didn't know what we were gonna do until the last minute when I was like, we haven't done some village in a while. Haven't checked out that modded village in a while. So that's what we're doing today. I'm also sad about Big Beautiful Boat. And I'm so sorry that occurred. Tragic, really. Well, we can set up a funeral pyre for Big Beautiful Boat next time we're all on Valheim. I think it's worth worth having. How did you? I have actively tried to flip a boat before. So I don't know how you managed that. Don't know how the world managed that, I guess, really. Do it. Yeah, I've had a boat flip once, and it was a very similar situation to that, where you're just minding your own business, and it's all fine, and then all of a sudden the world trips out and says, no boat for you. It's tragic. It really is tragic. But aside from BBB dying, I'm glad you're doing well. This week has been weird. It has been a weird week. It's a 4-day week for me at work, because we had Monday off. But also this next week we also have Monday off, because, you know, the holidays are all on the weekend this year, I guess. So it's just thrown everything way off for me. I don't know what's happening anymore. Plus, just feeling a little funky anyway. But doing okay enough to stream and hang out with my friends. I do really want to, like, start streaming more regularly again. I really miss it, and I really want to do that. But, you know, life has been fucking hectic. Yeah, this week, it is the week of Limbo. I'm glad it's not just me, though. I always forget that, like, it does tend to be, like, it is, like, a holiday hangover, isn't it? Where it's, like, even if you're not actively celebrating any of it, but it's just a weird malaise. Yeah, you gave it 2-week notice, but it's already quit. Oh, accurate though. Holy shit. Yeah. So okay, that makes me feel much better about, like, just feeling real off. It's not even necessarily, like, bad. I mean, I felt bad today, but I know why. The rest of it's just been this, like, I just feel oozy. I just feel like that's not quite right. Let me take that back. You know how you just kind of exist and just go through the day? Like you said, going through the motions. It's like that, but even slower? I don't know. Maybe I do mean it. Maybe I do mean that I feel oozy. Not like that, though. Listen. So yeah, we're gonna do a little village today, and I'm excited about that. At some point I do want to get back into Scorn. I just haven't had the attention span to do it.
I'm here to put a smile on your face because this week is weird and you're doing great. Less than 3.
Thanks, Smiley. You have put a smile on my face. I know, it's not even like... I love you. I love you, Smile. Hold on. Thank you for the sub. Thank you for being a precious, wonderful, wonderful human being. You're a delightful friend and a delightful boss, and I adore you. And I know that, like, a lot of us, like, specifically on the support team, have kind of, like, felt the weirdness of this week, but, like, and it's not to say that, like, I'm discounting our experience with it, but I just assumed that some of it was just, like, the weird hangover and also doing customer support. But knowing that, like, everyone is also experiencing it is nice. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, all of it. It is everything. Holy shit. It's at least with work, we're doing great. We're getting through it. We're all supporting each other and making sure we're all taking care of each other, and I like what we do. Hi, Abby. How's it going, friends? Yeah, it's just one of those weeks, and that's fine. I'm just proud of myself for, you know, doing all the things that I wanted to do. I've gotten laundry done today. I have done almost my entire shift at work today. I have an hour left. I've been breaking up my day, like last week and this week, and I like it. And now I'm streaming, and that's nice. Yeah. So thanks. I'm trying. I'm trying. I got some dishes I gotta do, but you know what? Those can wait. They can wait. Yeah, I hope y'all are doing good, or as good as you can, given everything. I think Farley has decided to stop screaming at me, which is wonderful, because that's all he's been doing today. Dinks. Sam.
Hi, I am proud of you, and Eiley, you are such a nice and cool person, and I love you so much.
Thanks, friend. You're a cool person, and I love you so much. I'm gonna cry. That's not what this was supposed to be. This wasn't a Kayshurr's gonna stream, and we're gonna make them cry. That's not what's happening. Okay, I'll cry then. Fine. Okay. This is what I get for telling Raven to cry at us earlier. I was looking at chat and I saw Luna's name. I'm sorry. It's true, I do have to give Smiley my salt. You can have the salt from my tears. Oof. Alright. Yeah, like I said, I hope y'all are doing as good as you possibly can as well. And I love you. Hey, I'm happy that we're friends. Yeah, so Resident Evil. That's a thing. That's a thing that we're doing, probably, right? Yeah? Yeah? There we go. I don't remember what we were doing. Why am I slow? Ethan, what are you doing? Everything is modded. Despite, like, saying it and acknowledging it, I forget that it's a thing. So that's cool. But, I can't jump. I have forgotten that I cannot jump. Is this where we're going? Sorry, it's a very funny noise to me. Not the power of wah. Is this where we're going? Wait, what did we do? What happened the last time we played? Excuse me? Smiley, thank you for the gift, Shub. Stop. Hey, stop. Thank you for getting a gift sub for Saber, though. How could it be? Oh, why, though? Oh, why is it bald? Sorry. Game, wait! Holy shit.
Hypey.
Why are you gross? You gotta go away, sir. Hold on. Hey, that was so loud. B, I'm in the middle of talking with my friends. Hopefully that's better. Hi, Dijon the Wizard. Welcome in. That was a lot and horrible. Okay. Great. Great. We're doing great, actually. Sam, thank you for the bits and possibly getting us a hype train. I don't know what's going on anymore. Well, if you weren't awake, you are now. Where he? You know what? I believe that. That hype train is a liar. You know what? He started a hype train in my heart. That's all that matters. Hype for my friends. All aboard my hype train. Choo choo. Hi, can you... I did forget that I made these boys bald. They look awful when they're naked. Hi, Butto. Thank you for the lurk, friend. Hey, do you wanna? Nope. Come here. Where? Don't come in here. Wait. Can hype trains chugga tutu? Oh, okay, hold on. I need to stop just rushing out and doing stuff. First off, let's get our bearings. Playing on hardcore mode. That's why I'm panicking. I remember. Oh, our poor sad hand. Where is? There is? There he is. Oh, God! Why he look that way? Right in the butthole. Sorry. Hi! No, you need to stay here so I can keep shooting you. Okay? You actual fool. Right in the tooth plug. I forgot that that was a thing. It's fine. Wow! Crystal Beast Skull! Fine. Skeleton. I'll get there eventually. We did it. Wasn't even worried. Why is anyone worried? Just remember when our whole community went feral. Full stop. Hello? I do remember when we all went feral for Toot Plug, though. Hi. I see you there. Whoop. Hello. Come here. Okay. Toot Plug, I can't even say was. Is. Toot Plug is very good. Wait, Luna, are you still having issues subbing for, are you just having issues subbing still? Twitch, what the fuck? I thought you loved money. What the heck? Why it like that, though? Horrible. Oh, wait, I was literally just here. Okay, we're just wandering, puttering even. Meandering, if you will. I think I've, like, gotten most of the stuff that's over here. Yeah. Sorry. Also, excuse me. This house. Which house is that house? That house is this house? No, I'm going, like, the complete wrong way now. Hold on. I'm curious about treasure. This way? This way. Right? Is it in there? No. Why am I bad at understanding where I'm going? Don't answer that. We know the answer. Anyway, how's it going, Emmy? How are you doing? I can't get there at the moment. I understand. I now understand, at least. What? Actually, I don't know what that noise was. I wouldn't worry about it. Is this? Yeah. Yeah. Gimme that. What do you mean there's not enough space? No. Move? Nice. We appreciate time off. There. Game. See, I had space. You're just dumb and putting everything in the wrong spot. How do I rotate? That's how. No. No. Okay. There. Oh my god. I'm very bad at this. There we go. Great! Organized. Yes, close my inventory. What do you mean? Oh! I'm gonna scream. It's fine. You know what? There's a better way to organize all this anyway. Why did it do that? Okay, there we go. Holy shit. Oh, right, I have a fly swatter. Hold on a second, let me see that. Let me see that bad boy. Oh, beautiful. Okay, we gotta go find Hal, Goopy Boy, Lovely Bud, Fish Man. You know. What do you mean, oh no? Covered in a slimy substance. Looks breakable, though! What if I just swat it a little bit? Got the fly swatter. Don't even worry about it. So gunky! Pig. I hear pig. You're always worrying, Travis. I'm sorry to say. Pigs. Give me your meat body, piggy. Thank you. don't think I have the, like, is it a crankshaft? Whatever it is, I don't have it. Do I get it after this section? I don't have the little ball for this yet. It's fine. We'll come back to it. I think I went into this saying I wasn't gonna, like... Yeah, I've gotten that animal. I wasn't gonna, like, try and get every bit of treasure that there is, but also, what if I did consider... Saimu! Yo.
Kayshurrr love, 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 Kayshurrr love.
Aw. How's it going, Saimu? How are you doing? How is our best owl friend? Thank you for the subscription, though. I really appreciate it. Heck, y'all. Why you do this to me? Why you make me cry? Welcome. Nice to see ya. I've missed everyone. Oh my god. Like, it's one of those situations where, like, you know that you miss doing the thing. In this case, streaming. I miss streaming. But it's not until I, like, actually start streaming again and I see all my friends that I'm just like, I missed y'all. Oh, hiccup. That's the wrong side. I liked how Kimrold said the emote. It's like a song. No, you! That's okay. We're still happy to have you here. I'm glad you're doing well, though. See, I think the last time, like, I saw you was in Fruity's stream. Yeah, do you have things getting back together so that you can stream? If I may ask? Hi, Moreau. Oh, also. Rip it and rip it. Eee. Buddy, you should lay down. Drink some water.
I'll just be taking this. Wait. What are you doing with Mother's special child? She's not hers.
This poor guy.
Oh, you have something to say? What do you mean, Mother's
He's just a lumpy
child?
boy.
What's her baby back? Don't screw with me. Wait, please. If you take it, then the others will laugh at me.
Oof. I hope they get it done soon. I'm sorry you've been having to wait for so long for it.
What's
Sad
so
laugh.
funny?
Oh, that's not crying.
Stupid. You talk too much. It's all over. I plugged away in.
Well, right? It better be the best dang internet. If it's not, let me know and I'll go throw hands at the ISP for you. I'll do it. Well, I'll collectively gang up on him. Yucky! I didn't need to shoot that. There was no need. Also, I think this portion of the game doesn't have too many mods installed, which is sad, but there weren't that many.
How do I get out of here?
That would be nice. Feel like at that point, like, any setup is a good setup, right? We would just be happy to see ya. Alright. Anything else around here? That. Give me that. I don't actually need that, and I can't get there just yet. Okay. Well. Notes that I don't actually need to read. Oh. Wait. you know, game, I do understand that I need the boat key. I do know. I just got overly excited. Okay. It's in here? Up here? Oh, it's so gunky in here. Bad sounds. It's fine, though. Little gunkus never hurt anybody. Hello? Right in the noggin. They explode very good. I like it when their heads go smush. I'll let y'all deal with that what you will. I don't know, this game's just great. Bye! Bye! Oh! Ow! I was having fun! Sir? Hi! Okay, well, that's incredibly unfortunate. And I'm out of gunk, health goop. Y'all gotta back up. Everything's blurry and horrible, okay? No, oh, I understand. Well, rip Ethan. So maybe we don't let ourselves get cornered this time. Do I have any explosives? I must have, right? Yeah, I got some pipe bombs. I also have a mine? Can I put that in place of my very bad pistol? Okay. Thank you, I've noted. I am happy that they're almost over, in all honesty. Whoa! Whoa! Miracle of two at once. Yeah, I am ready for them to be fully done. Getting there, though. Oh, oh. Oh, oh, oh! But overall, we're doing okay. Oh. Grab it, please, please! I said not to get cornered, and I have gotten myself cornered. It's fine. Anyone else? I hope it's been going nice for you, at least. Hello? Okay. Whoa! I need... Hold on. Can I equip one of those bad boys? Y'all dead? Okay, good. We did eat! It's great what you can do when you don't let all the enemies just pile up on top of each other. Oh, we're doing great. It's wonderful here, actually. A very nice destination, if I do say so myself. Sorry, I thought I heard a monster. Okay. Side tangent. different conversation. I think one of the reasons why I've been having like a hard time getting back into streaming is because I am very excited for a bunch of games that are going to be coming out. But they haven't come out just yet, and so I'm like, well, I don't want to play anything until these happen. And that's just not realistic at all. But it's fine. Like, we've got the Dead Space remake coming out on the 27th of January. Which may or may not be what we're going to be doing in part of what we're doing in the meantime on the weekends. Fruity and me are going to be streaming Dead Space. Because it's been a while since I've played it, and I would like to replay it before the new one comes out. Hi, I hear y'all. Where are they? Where are they? There they. There they. And then Resident Evil 4, the remake for that is going to be coming out in March, I think. Anyway, there's like a lot of really good stuff coming out. I have like steadily gotten more excited for the Silent Hill games. They don't have release dates just yet. But I am still tempering my expectations. We're not expecting something super phenomenal. However, still pretty stoked about those. And yeah, I don't know. Between being excited for games that aren't out just yet and oh, boat turns very fast. Moreau, please.
What was that?
And then just the general like feeling that comes with this time of year. I think I've just been like, I don't want to do nothing. Smiley, he's too big. How are you gonna get a tank big enough for him? This is what happens when you release them. They get too big. He growed.
What the?
I see.
Research post or something?
Oh, jeez. Wow!
Get off of me! Stay the fuck down!
I don't wanna.
I gotta say,
Oh, it's my baby! Sorry. It's never not funny!
You killed Mia. Do me and finish the job.
I don't even know what laugh I did.
We should move on.
Look at my baby!
But my guess is we've been here too long, and Miranda knows it.
Hey, did you say Miranda? How are you involved?
Leave it alone, Ethan. You are out of your depth. What about the sample analysis?
It's definitely related to the mold.
Oh. I'm glad that my laugh can bring you joy. But also look at him! Oh no! Oh my god, he does! Oh, that's a movie I haven't seen in a hot minute. But I do know who you're talking about. Whoa. Babyface. It's our sweet,
Stay back.
sweet baby, baby Chris Redfield. I can't even talk.
The exit's underwater. You're done.
Oh.
I don't have time for this.
Yeah, okay. Whenever you want, friend. Also, I never noticed this before, but he has a mother tattoo. Moreau, please.
You're pathetic.
Be nice to him.
What are you talking about?
He's had a little. He's a little under the weather. Mommy, I threw up. Poor guy. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not such a poor guy after all. Oh! We gotta go. Ah! Go, Ethan, go! Go, Ethan, go! Good job, buddy! Moreau, I was standing on that. You could have hurt somebody.
What am I supposed to do?
Well, gotta move on. I don't think we can finish this today.
I said the exit's over.
That's okay. Unless... Oh, fuck, I forgot about this puzzle. Okay, before we do any of that, we need to come over here. Because there's this in here. And also... Is there anything up here? Time to loot. Gotta loot all of the things, obviously. Give me that. Also, I like that there are all these, like, cat litter boxes around here. That's what this is, and we all know it. They'll try and tell you otherwise. Also, after some of the jump scares we've had, I don't think we need to poop anymore. Handled. Is this... Right. The crank is there. We need to go see the merchant. I mean, since you asked. Thank you. Thank you, bot.
Shall I choose something
Chat bot.
for you?
For reminding everyone that we are
Securing
adults
goods
here.
is more important than anything. Carry on.
Sam, please.
Carry on.
Don't really have much else. I love you, friends. You're wonderful. Crystal fragment. Yes? Unless... Hold on.
Sure to
Hang
be a
on.
good meal.
We have treasures, right? I don't have anything that I can combine that with just yet.
If it's just
Okay.
windows
I just wanted to make
somewhere.
sure that I, like, couldn't combine that with something before selling it. Which it doesn't seem that I can. Oh my god, hiccups, please. Let's get rid of all of that. Because we have unlimited ammo for the pistol.
Dissatisfied? I believe this is a fair price.
Our shotgun is fully upgraded. Handgun is fully upgraded. Let's go ahead and upgrade the sniper. Perfect.
Ah, it's fine. All finished.
And is there anything else that I, like, need? Not really. Most of the upgrades are for weapons that I don't care about. Okay. Great. Perfect.
Thank you
Handled.
for your patronage.
Let's go.
If I can drain the water. Shit, there's no power.
Right. So I have to turn the power on first and then do that silly little puzzle. I remember. It's been a minute, okay? I love this game, but it's been a bit since we've played. Okay. Can we turn this? Hello. Can you grab this, Ethan? Wow, you've done it very bad.
Seriously?
Buddy. You broke it. Broke it. Since we're starting to stream a little more regularly again, need to figure out what our next community challenge is gonna be. Because I was finally looking at, like, all of the channel point redemptions that we have, and realized I hadn't ever, like, hadn't marked it as complete, the tattoo stream. So I'm open to hearing suggestions as to something funky we want to do and to see. I might do another tattoo stream at some point as well. So it was really fun. And I need to do Wizard Dog on my other leg now. Gotta do it. Is there? Yeah. Okay. So that's an option. Excuse you, sir. Yeah, Wizard Dog! Oh. I'm having a generalized better idea. There wasn't anywhere for me to go? Game? I needed to shoot something to drop down, didn't I? Yep, nope, I see it now. There it is. Okay. So yeah, we might do another tattoo stream at some point, because I had fun with that, and everyone else seemed to enjoy it as well. I haven't gotten the supplies for it just yet, but I have been wanting to try, painting minifigures at some point. So we could potentially do that. So, oh my god, Ethan! Gonna do Wizard Dog. We're gonna do Wizard Dog if I do a tattoo stream again. Yeah, like I said, I need to buy stuff for it. And I've been wanting to go to the hobby shop to go look at stuff, but I haven't been able to secure the ride from the person who said that they would take me. No, it's okay. It's all good. So that's an option. Potentially. There it is. Is there anything else that I need to shoot down? Why isn't it falling? Why? Hello? Horrible. Okay. But I do have some of that stuff up on my throne wish list. I have ordered brushes, and I'm waiting for those to come in, and then I think my next big purchase will probably be paints. Okay, where the fuck? Am I blind? What are you doing, buddy? Also thank you, Emmy, for getting that up there. Not that I ever expect anyone to purchase anything. Ever. But it is an option. That is there, if we're super into seeing this occur. So that's a thing. And then obviously we got lots of games to check out as well, but I'm just trying to think of things to, like, shake it up a little bit. Because I've kind of enjoyed just, like, sticking with, like, horror content predominantly because it is what I enjoy. But doing something different every once in a while is nice. Excuse me. I thought my phone was turned off. There we go. Oh yeah. Let's go. I am scared. I don't think there's much that he can, like, do to us, really. Where am I going? Sorry, I'm incredibly lost. Why am I struggling with this? I'm going there. I understand. I need to find the right lever, though. Which is here. Please. There we go. Ethan! You have to walk faster! I love Moreau. He's very silly. Ah, 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 ah. That's the noise you make when you want to go faster, right? Please, Ethan, grab it. Ethan, buddy. Hey. Hey, pal. Hey, friends. Hey, guy. We need you to, get a move on. Alright? Everything's so gunky here. Excuse you. Alright, great. Perfect. How do I get over there? Do I just hop down? I do. Great. It is funny going through this game again after I like speedran it, and got through it in like, I want to say like an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, and now I'm just standing here being like, I don't know what I'm doing. Well, hoppa. Climb? Thank you. What's happening? Let's do that.
Caught myself a big one.
Gross. It's gross in here, Ethan.
Need to get out of here.
Oh! I need to keep moving. I need to not stop. And I need to keep going. Can you go? Ethan? Consider? Oh. That was a me issue. I'm sorry I blamed you for that one, Ethan. I am blind. I have new glasses coming in soon. Thank goodness. Mine aren't, like, terribly out of date, but enough that it, like, makes a big difference. I am very blind. Can't climb up like this. Okay, why'd you take it out? You need to use it. Friend? Consider? Hey, pal? Don't forget to take the crank with you. There we go. not gotten anything fancy. It's more or less the same thing that I've been wearing for the last, you know, couple of years. Just black round frames. Wow! Good job. Well done, Ethan. But yeah. Oh
Okay.
no! Not scratched glasses. Scratched glasses or bent frames are the worst. Like, I would much rather take a slightly out of date prescription over a scratched lens, especially if it's like right in the middle.
Seeking something
I
in
hope you can get some new ones soon. It's not the fun. I don't think there's anything else that I need to like sell. We don't really want to upgrade our stuff.
till next we meet.
So it needs to be... Ugh. Ugh. I'm so sorry. Okay, what are we doing? Please. Paper? Turn? Okay. Blue, white, orange. White, orange, black. Orange, blue, blue. Blue, white, orange, black. Oh, wait, I can still see it. Never mind. So blue, white, orange, white, orange, wait. And then orange, blue, blue. Hey, do the thing, Ethan. Drain that lake. Are we already doing the Moreau fight? I thought there was a bit more between this and there, but that may not be the case. Okay, well. Look him! Oh, jeez. If that works. That could be such a strain on your eyes, though. Take care of your eyeballs. Them ocular orbs. You gotta. Don't make your eyes sad. Yeah, no, we know what this is. Well, we don't really, but it's fine. Ooh. Equip that, please. Okay. I guess it is boss fight time. Okay. Well. Ah! Wasn't really anywhere for me to go, is the problem. Sir! You can't just lock me in there. Ah! You're gunky fish man. Do I have a better gun for this situation? I do have this. Please, reload, Ethan! Oh, he mad. Fucking hell! Okay, hang on a second. Right? It was very nice of him, but also I need him to, like, stop ramming into me. Fuck! Yeah, no, Ethan, I understand that this is bad. Ethan, I hit restore health! Ethan, I hit the button! You didn't get the goop! You have to get the goop! Okay, maybe we do just make this. It's not really that much faster, is it, though? How do I... G? Not the fly swatter. How do I... He, like, hadn't, like, knocked over any of the things that I... Any of the barriers, but it's fine. Here we go. Whoa! That was unpleasant. No, wait, go back. We're gooping! Ethan! Okay, well... It's fine, we're doing great. It's the proper response to Lobster Man, really. Where is he? There he is. Okay. Lobster ban will never be lifted. Ever. Where is he going? Where is he? That seemed wrong? That seemed incorrect. Well, he's oozing now. Where is he? There he. Are you coming down or what? What are you doing, bud? Eee! Okay, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Oh lord, he coming. Are you dead yet? How is that hitting me? How many more grenades does he need to take to the face before he dies? Holy shit! go. You have to be done now. Horrible. Horrible. Fuck. There we go. Oh my god. Whew. Maybe not such a poor guy after all. Yucky.
In death as he was in life. Disgusting.
Okay, well that's not particularly called for, but you know what? It's fine. He was a bad man. A bad, gunky man. Is there anything else to loot around here? Some mines. Anything else? More mines. Some health. Some ammo that I can sell. Great. Cool. Fantastic. We did it. We beat Moreau.
The exit's up ahead.
That just leaves Heisenberg's factory, right? And then the fight with Mother Miranda. So we're getting there. The factory is so long though, from what I remember. Okay. Thank you for the lurk, Sam.
Alive?
Oh. Want me to do that? There we go. Great.
You're better than I thought.
Who's that?
Oh, come on. We just met a while back, not that it really matters.
You're the last asshole in my way, aren't you?
You've got fight. I'll give you that, Ethan. But what's
So
the plan when
sassy.
you have all 4 flasks?
What are you trying to get at?
I could lend you a hand.
Trying to get on my good side?
I don't get cocky. I'd kill you if you weren't worth the trouble.
Okay.
There's a stronghold not too far outside the village. Go there and get my flask. Do that, and you pass. First, head back to the graveyard.
Self-centered prick.
Yeah. What's this? Tatoes! Just a box of potatoes. Okay. Well, not much here. I didn't get the orb. The iron orb. Can I get it now? Is it here? I don't remember where anything is. Yeah! Okay, maybe I do actually remember where everything is. Hello? Open. Ethan, how did you miss that? My guy. Orb? No, that's an angel statue. Where are these bubbles coming from? Oh, I see them under the water. Are there more? Was it just the 2? I think it was just the 2. Bubbly boys, those catfish. Kind of wild. Is there nothing up there? Okay. Don't think there was anything else that I could like really get. Alright. Was there? We're gonna look around very quickly, because I kind of want the ball? As much as I hate those stupid puzzles, I do like the items that they give us. They're worth a lot of money. And I appreciate that. As upgrades and stuff, you know? There's nothing else here. It's fine. I've done it before. I don't need to do it now. Ugh. Gotta get over my desire to be a completionist. It's not necessary in this situation. Is that there? Yeah, we're fine. It's fine. I'm not bothered. You're bothered. Oh, jeez. Excuse me. Oof. Elevator, you're taking so long! Of course, right as I say something. Okay. Get me out of here. Let's open this up since it's right here. It's here. We're not going out of our way for it. Okay. What's here? Did I get it? I got it. Hello? Oh. Oh! Found orb. I hate these things. Horrible creatures. It's fine, we got him though. Okay. Wasn't even worried. Hi. I am annoyed because these guys are supposed to look like Michael Myers, and they definitely do not. Oh, or maybe it's just the ones with the hoods. Oh, hi. Yucky. Yucky. Okay, where am I going? I guess I could check my map to make sure that we've, like, explored the houses thoroughly. But also, no. What are you eating? What's in your mouth? What's in your mouth? Open that up. It's the Wolfsbane. Oh, and I have unlimited ammo for it. Perfect. Alright, we're gonna be breezing through here. Hello? Three shots. 3 shots on those big boys. And they are no longer an issue. Beautiful. Mwah, chef's kiss. We love it. You love to see it. Also, what's up here? There's something more up here? Or is that... Where does this go? Oh, to a well. More goodies. Don't be a completionist, they say. We're not here for all the things, they say. I'm here for all the things. Don't even need that! It's not necessary. Ethan is the new Pokemon? He's a new legendary that just dropped. We love that for him. I think the Wolfsbane is like this game's version of the Magnum. In fact, it might actually be a Magnum. I don't know guns. I know Resident Evil. So, you know. Unlock. Right, the thing is over here. Let's do the bad marble game. What? Mermaid ball. Oh? Does he only ever say his name? I think this is the point in the game where I, like, figured out that I could, like, rotate a map as a whole like that. Beautiful. Okay. I don't know what's happening. Excuse me. In we go. I did it. Got the chartreuse skull. Perfect. No, if we can go back to the merchant, that would be great, because I have a lot of shit to sell, and a new gun to upgrade. I also appreciate the confetti. Heisenberg, listen. You don't have to make the way so obvious. Where am I going? There's a thing in there. Again, I don't really need all the treasures. I just like goodies. It's fine. We're doing fine. I like it when Heisenberg calls me Papa. Sorry, buddy. Oh, I got both of them! I like it when that happens. I need to... No. I need to fix this inventory situation. Okay. Can I not go the way that they want me to go? And go visit my good friend, the Duke. There he is! Great. Perfect. Because my inventory is a hot mess right now.
Ah, my apologies.
Let's visit the kitchen, shall we?
We've gathered all the ingredients.
Okay, great.
Now.
I don't need
Here it is.
it to last
Join
that
me.
long.
Not
Okay.
a bad dish. Thank you.
Okay. So we still need some finest fish, some regular meat, some poultry. Lots of poultry, lots of regular fish. Yeah.
I can hardly
Wait,
wait for
wait,
the next
no, wait, no,
ingredients.
no, wait. Get me back in there.
I was just thinking of ways to pass the time.
Let me back in. Get that out of here, get that out of here. Handgun ammo. All of that has to leave. Shotgun ammo. Get out of here. Sniper rifle ammo. Go away. Explosive rounds. Flashbang. Magnum ammo can go away because we have unlimited ammo for the Wolfsbane, which is a Magnum. Okay.
This,
Yes.
Lord Morose? I suppose it's what they call the beauty of the grotesque.
And then let's go ahead and upgrade this as much as we possibly can. Let's go ahead and upgrade the shotgun all the way. Don't
Oh,
need
it's
to,
fine.
but I
All
want
finished.
to. Okay, well, we can't do it all the way, but that's fine.
Thank you for your patronage.
We're doing great, actually. Yeah, we'll go for another, like, at least a half hour. Probably longer. I know this isn't the way they want me to go, but are there fish over here, or did I get all the fish that were over here? I think I got all the fish that was over here. Tragic. Okay, well, I guess we have to follow the signs. We gotta go where Heisenberg wants us. That one, please. Let's go! Thanks. What's up here? Wait. Yeah, what's up here? Oh, right. This whole section is, like, optional, isn't it? Otto's Mill. Yeah. Okay, well, let's do this, because I think there are some, like, good items here that I like, and that I would like to have. Likely all of it is what I'll sell. I'll sell all of it. But also, who knows? There are no fish in this water, and I am disappointed. Plus, we'll get through this super quick, won't we? Because we've got the upgraded Wolfsbane. This is fine. Pig. Give me your flesh body. Did I pick it up? Also, let's just go ahead and work on organizing everything now. These stupid lockpicks are so obnoxious as far as trying to, like, fit them somewhere intelligent is concerned. Okay. Anything else? Crystal fragment. Yes? Hello? Running into a door. What is happening? Goopy. I guess if I do want to do like a bunch of like extra side stuff, we could go back to is he dead already? No. Whoa! You can't just jump up there! I was standing there, sir! Not even worried. Listen, as much as I love playing through this game, the first couple of times, and like, I don't want to say struggling, but definitely going about it the intended way. Limited ammo and, you know, having to deal with the enemies and on whatever terms the game originally sets. It is very fun to just go through and like blow everything away. Sometimes you just gotta make it a little easy for yourself, you know? And that's fun. Oh, wow! Big boy. Okay. Think that's all the goodies in here that I care to find at the moment. Lots of meat. I don't mind dealing with that sometimes. You have less ammo than there are enemies. But also sometimes you just gotta take the win. Gotta get that W. And it's just very fun seeing how like ridiculously overpowered I am. It's just very good. Anyone else? No? Okay. Plus we have more meat to do more stuff with the Duke. So that's nice. I am going to run back all the way in order to get rid of the things that we just picked up. You do come across them in the factory, but I don't want to lug all this stuff there. You can't make me.
Seeking something in particular.
Oh, get rid of those. Get rid of that. Not any of that. You know what? I'm getting rid of those lockpicks. I don't care enough for the things that are in the locked drawers to keep those on me.
No, I'm more than happy to purchase it.
And I have been complaining about them anyway, so let's just get rid of them. Happy getting BB supper. Thank you for the lurk, Travis. That's all done. That's full up.
Just excuse me a moment.
And now we take less damage when we block.
Apologies
So that's
for the wait.
exciting.
Here's your share. To think
Okay.
such a dish could be had in this winter-bound frontier.
Okay. And then
Leave this to me.
and we'll say, well, what if?
This simple modification can
What if
be
I
done
just
in
do?
just
What
a
if I just do this? We've got enough money. We will consistently have enough money that if I spend the money on the upgrades, it's gonna be fine. There's no loss here. I also got that well already, so we can ignore that. And now, finally, move on to the factory, where it's ultra ridiculous. Just very silly. Not looking forward to the one boss fight with the Propeller Man. But you know what? We'll make do. Hello? Where? There. Okay. Anyone else? If you would like to make your presence known, now is the time to do it, so that I can resolve your being here. I see you. Also, can I... No, those ones can't be shot. Shame, that would be an unlimited amount, or an unlimited supply of a money. Hello? Hi! Hey! First off, you jumped on my head. Secondly, you jumped on my head. And I think that's not allowed. My god. Why are they like this? So rude. Like, no one taught them any gosh darn manners. Okay, well. Ooh. Wonderful. Another thing, unrelated to anything. I've been reading again. Getting back into, like, reading regularly. Because I've been having a hard time sleeping at night. I've taken that time to lay in bed and rest, but do something so I'm not just sitting there being like, oh god, I can't sleep. And it's been very nice. Again, just having the time to be able to read a dang book. I just finished You Lost a Lot of Blood, which was very good, by Eric LaRocca. They have a bunch of other books that they have published as well that I want to pick up at some point so I can read them. And I just got a newer manga called PTSD Radio. The art in it goes hard. It's real interesting. I started that one last night. I'm like most of the way through it at this point. It's a manga. It doesn't take long to get through. That's real good. I like it. Hi, ATM. How are you doing, friend? Oh, well, you're lurking. You don't have to answer if you're running. But thanks for being here. Thanks for the lurk. I can't aim that low. But yeah, it's nice to see you, pal. I shot you in the foot when you jumped. Excuse me. I need to increase the fire rate of this dang gun. You know, it's not too bad because a single hit usually kills everything, right? But when it doesn't, it's a problem. Ooh, nice. We're here for it. I love you too, though. I'll get good. Enjoy your stream. If everybody here doesn't follow ATM just yet, you should. He's delightful, wonderful, big dad energy. Just a lovely human being. Okay, is that everyone? Have we done the shoot on everybody? We have. There's so many goodies everywhere though. My pockets are only so deep. I only have so much space for everything, game. Alright, let's go. Flop. Anyone else? Nope. Great. Oh my god, open. Open. It's so slow! Okay. Please. I just want to get in here. You have to let me in. Oh, jeez. Give me that. Give me that. Give me those. Give me this. Why does Ethan keep missing when he goes to, like, hit the box? Very bad at this. Okay. It's fine. I guess.
This must be their den.
Well? Just a reminder, you're the one coming into their house and ruining everything, Ethan. I do like it when I shoot through them. It's just very good. Okay, anyone else? Hello? Sir? Anything down here, or is this just a way for me to get back up? Well, there's lots of gubbins down here. Hi. Hey! Hey! You can't do this! Oh my god! The fire rate is so slow. Maybe this isn't the weapon for me. Maybe if I didn't have guys just appearing behind me out of nowhere, this would be better? Stop. Stop! There's like a solid, like, 1.5 2 second delay between when I click and when, like, it actually shoots. At times. It's wild. It's fine. We'll just be better at aiming things. Thank you for getting that shout out there, Travis. Seriously, y'all should follow Andrew. He's delightful. Excuse you. Okay. Okay. Listen here, buckos. No, I'm coming through. It's true. They're very good cats. I'm not a big fan of Monster Hunter as something that I would play for myself, but I do very much enjoy watching people play it. And what are they, palicos? Is that is that right? My main issue is I just don't have the patience for it. Fucking hell! Stop! Why are they pushing me? I know a thing sometimes.
Okay, big guy.
Well, that was handled. Okay. Sorry, sometimes I get very into making sure that I'm not dying. Sometimes you just gotta stop talking for a second while you shoot a bunch of dudes. We did it. Handled. Okay. Give me all that. It's just more trash for me to sell. We love that. Never-ending staircase. Hello? Not the shimmy. Ethan, I think you're too tall. Ooh. Look at them. Oh, Ethan's hand scared me. Oh, fuck. Okay. Well, game. Here's the thing. There is space here. No. I need to sell things. It's time to do a sell. Oh, goodness. Never mind. We're gonna do a fight. Hi, Akos. How is it going? Can we shortcut this to, please? Instead of... No, don't equip that. I wanted to shortcut it to here instead. Okay. Doing all right. I'm excited to be here. Having a good dang time blowing up some zombies. Glad you're doing well. Okay. Let's shortcut that here. Let's equip our magnum. Let's pick up some of these. Let's blow ourselves up. Sorry. You fool. If I just keep... Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Oh. Oh, his pathing is screwed. Okay, well this is fine. Oh! Yeah, it's fine. Oh my god, okay. Well, listen. We don't need every bit of ammo that we come across. Fuck. We don't need every health item we come across either. Well, we still have 2 of these here, but... What can you do? I don't have any space in my inventory. That's a problem. Look at all the shinies. Oh my god. Let's do this. Alright. Let's get our little ray gun out. And Shoot all of the shiny things. I hate that I can still hear the beeping. Ooh, some yellow quartz. Is that all of the shiny? I think that's all of the shiny. I have to leave this room. I cannot listen to that beeping anymore. Oh. Bad beeping. Hi, I did it. I got your thing. Woofa.
You're the real deal, Ethan. Well done.
Quit hiding, asshole. I'm not letting you get out of this.
Cool your jets.
No,
Just a little
no
bit more,
cool.
And you're all wrapped
Sorry.
up. I'll lend you a hand. So in exchange,
Oh my goodness.
Change what?
first of all, come to me. Put all the flasks in the altar, and I'm sure you'll figure the rest out.
Okay.
See you, Ethan.
Reminder that y'all should stretch as well. Especially if we've been sitting for a while. Sorry. I forgot about the picture. Oh, beautiful. You love to see it. Oh, God. I kind of like it when the game's not necessarily modded to oblivion, you know? Just a couple here and there to catch you off guard every once in a while. That's how he's always sounded. Heisenberg's always sounded like an absolute doofus. I love it. I love his voice, so I say that with, like, all bits of admiration, but he sounds like a dingus. He's a very silly man. Oh, I know where that is. I don't know that we'll get there. I don't know that I want to, like, spend the time trying to get there, you know? If we do, we do. If we don't... Fuck. Yes, close. Hello? Absolute fools. Whoa! You can't sneak up around the corner with someone with a gun. It's not good. It will not end well for you, my pal. We can't go further. Okay. Excuse me. I hear chickens. Chicken. Oh my god, yes, close. Oh my god. Chicken. 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 Where am I? Is that? No, that is the right key. Okay, cool. Listen, of course Mother Miranda was gonna be all for it. You got weird magnetic superpowers from being infected. And then he sort of just, you know, took it a little far. It's fine. We love him and his robot army. Absolute madman. Okay, please. I need to sell some things. Buy my trash.
Pleasure to see you return alive.
Buy my trash.
Welcome.
Please. I don't have the space for all this garbage. No. Don't, no! I don't want to sell the meat. I don't want to sell all my first aids either. Okay, we'll get rid of all the ammo because we don't need any of it, right? I guess. I love my silly little Lemmy, though. We'll get rid of that. And we'll get rid of those. I'll keep 5 of them on me.
You part with this so early.
Well, buddy. I don't have anything that he wants. Oop. Okay,
Leave
this is fine.
Pay me no mind. Please come again.
I have to go get the poultry. That was the whole point of this, is clearing out my inventory. Oh my god. Everything looks horrible. Put that there. Put that there. That there. That there. 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 Great. We have space again. Now we have to run back all the way over here so I can get all the things that I wanted. Ugh. That's it. It was over here. I know where I'm going. I know what's happening. None idea. Zero clue ever. Where's the rooster? Isn't there a rooster around here? Huh. Oh well. Okay, well. That's the wrong way. We have some chicken. Chicken! 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 Sorry, every time. It's gonna happen every time.
Well,
Hey,
then,
can I
feel
give you these
free to
things?
peruse.
Hey. Stuff I got.
Now
You want
to
it?
cook.
You want this gunk? Greatly increases health. We're here for it.
Finish.
I don't really, like,
I'd
need
love for you to
these.
enjoy as well.
But they're fun to do
To
anyway.
think such a dish could be had in this winter-bound frontier.
Okay.
Carry on.
And that's all we can do for now.
Hardly wait.
We still have so much
Best
meat.
ingredients.
Do you not need
If it's
any
just
more
a
meat?
Window shop away.
Sorry, let me... That's not what I wanted. Finest fish. That's done. That's done. We're full up on meat there. Full up on meat there. Okay, so I can sell the meat. Great.
Do let me know if you find anything else of value.
Inventory managed. Handled. Not even an issue. Wait, no, I have to be there. God. I have to be there because I have to put the rose bits in there. I have 2 things of rose that need to go in here. Let's put the torso flask in. And then the what is it? Arms flask? Gotta get those little armies in there. Got the Giant's Chalice. Let's go. You solved my baby puzzle. Alright. Wait, also, I had... Where does that go? Doesn't matter. We are gonna take a detour. I said we weren't, but we are. I've decided. Because look what I can do now. And we have to, well, that's not what I was trying to click on. And we have to go this way anyway? To get to the factory? We just have to go a slightly different way? Or is this... It's fine. Oh my god, Ethan, you can't keep missing like this. You can't. It's not allowed. Okay, before we go. Or do we not have to go this way? Whatever. We're doing it. Is this correct? Oh my god, fish. You have to die! I'm stabbing you! I'm very upset about this fish situation right now. Got it, got it all. We'll never speak on this again. Stupid fish. I think everything here is optional. That's fine. We're here. We're doing it. Sometimes you just gotta go get some goodies, you know? Squelchy. Bunch of trash that I don't need. But we have to go to the Duke anyway, you know? That is for our shotgun, which we've more or less stopped using at this point, but, you know. We can still equip it. Well, buddies, that was very foolish of you. What did you think was gonna happen? Ya dang goobers. Ethan, move forward. Bud, you have to shimmy. If you're making me shimmy, you have to shimmy. My god. Okay, well, we got all the trash that's down here. So let's... My boat turned around. Thanks, boat. I think all that's at the top here is treasure? Let's go for it. I just want to mess around anyway. boat, please. Yeah. Thank you, boat, for parking very nicely for me. So that I don't have to. Does this... This lets me get back to the village as a whole, doesn't it? So I don't have to go back down the river. Which again is very nice, because then we can... Yeah. Because then we should be able to just go back to the Duke and head to the factory then. No, that's incorrect. Game. You did that wrong, game. Money! Hello? Oh! It's a Michael Myers! Look at him! I missed these enemies. Hey. You're on fire now. You fool. Are you dropping anything for me? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Horrible. Atrocious, even. How could they do that? Awful. Oh, I know what they want me to do. Hey, come here, bud! Oh. And over here, okay? Come here! Yeah! Good job, buddy! Great work! That's why they didn't... Ooh! But, that's why they weren't dropping anything, because it would... It's just an infinite amount of them coming out, huh? Well, not anymore, but until you solve the puzzle, that is. It's fine. Time to leave. Okay. Yeah, this is how we got out when we beat Domitresk house. Which, let's do the wheel well? Well wheel? Excuse me? Hi? Looked like somebody was in my living room for a second. It's just the shadow of someone outside. Walking on by. Oh. Oh. Give me that. I don't know what I'm doing, necessarily. Okay, and then... pull? Or push? That's fine too, I guess. It's not nearly as, difficult as I was anticipating. It's fine. Anything else? Think that goes in the necklace? Necklace with 2 holes? Combine? Yeah. Okay. Great! Get me out of here. I don't want to be in this hole anymore. I want to go shoot some things again. Oh, heck. We might, at some point, if, not necessarily, like, now, or while we're playing this, but I think if we ever, like, need a filler game, could always do, like, mercenary modes in this. Because it's very fun, and you just run around and you shoot a bunch of stuff and try and get high score. Make number go big, basically, and that's wonderful. And we love that. Do I have to... I do have to go back through the river. Fuck. Okay, well... Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Excuse me. Okay, so maybe we'll get to Heisenberg's place and call it there. Yeah, I still have an hour left of work that I need to do. I would like to get that done soon. I'm feeling more motivated now. Ooh, sometimes you just need a big break. Sometimes you just need to stream instead of work. You know how it is. This way. This way? This way. Which way? This way.
What's going on?
That answered that question. Oh, jeez. There's the factory. Where is it? Giant's Chalice. Can I look? Nope. Okay. Great. Great. Love that for us. Excuse me? Okay. Well, down we go, I guess. Sure, whatever you want. Oh, it's taking so long.
Don't worry about the kid, Ethan. It'll be fine. Ha! Just get your ass across the bridge.
I'm getting... I can only run so fast, bud.
Ethan Winters. Well,
That's me. Okay, well, before I go there, never mind, I can't.
But I suppose you survived worse back in America. I
Yeah.
I'd like to speak to you about Rose and Miranda. Oh, come on in. Don't worry. It's not a trap.
It sounds like it's a trap. Kind of sounds like a trap. If we're being honest. Hello? Ooh. Oh my god, just get me in here. Tell me the thing. Set me up. Let's go.
What the hell? Mia? Truth hurts, though.
I like how some of them are normal.
Take me out
And
like
some
the
are
others, and then
SpongeBob.
we'll
I can't
save
see
Rose.
you past my gun!
And heal my daughter.
There he is.
You got the soul wrong.
I like how his cowboy hat is too big and is floating on his head.
Take a seat.
Also, if you couldn't tell, he's modded.
Listen, Ethan, you're being played.
He's wearing Dante's clothes.
What are you talking about? This is game.
I said sit.
Sir.
Lady, supersized bitch. Ugly ass psycho doll. An embryonic freak. Don't you get it? It's
No.
a test. To see if you're strong enough to be a part of Miranda's family.
I don't want to be a part of Miranda's family.
Neither did I, but here we are. Not next in line, right? Kill me, move up the chain. Well,
You have a
fuck that.
point.
I don't give a damn about your personal issues. I just want to fix my daughter.
So do I. Do you have any idea how powerful that kid is? Even Miranda's scared of her. Last time, you freak, I swear to God!
Be nice to him.
You and me, Ethan.
No.
Together, we can go save Rose, and we can use her to grind Miranda into paste.
Miranda?
Is not a weapon. Fuck you.
Last chance. You don't have to find out what's in that hole.
I do,
Take my
though.
chances.
You're futile.
Well, that's unfortunate. Ethan, that's not gonna do anything. Oh, you want me to start running now? Okay, well, if we can do that. It's not, though. Into the hole we go, Ethan! Let's go. Ouchies. Okay,
What was that thing?
time to find a safe spot. Let's go. I don't think there's anything down here. Rusted scrap. I don't need it. I don't need it at all. Okay. But I think there's a safe spot soon? I think we see the merchant soon. Possibly. Hello? There we go. Not a problem. Not a problem. Open that up. But I just want to see my good friend the Duke. That is all. I love him.
This place is messed up. I've got to get upstairs.
I mean, we'll get there. Don't worry. We'll get there when we get there. We're no rush. Sure, your daughter's in danger, but yeah, here's our bud.
As you wish.
Let's do some more inventory management, like we love. It's our favorite thing, actually. Explosive rounds, flashbang, magnum ammo. Yes. Kitchen. We can make this now. Our movement speed is increased.
Now.
I do wish we didn't have to, like, hear him cook every single time, or listen to them eat every single time. But it is what it is.
I'd love for you to enjoy as well. To think
Great.
such a dish could be had in this winter-bound frontier.
And then... So we only need 2 more chicken, 3 more chicken, and 1 more fish.
I've
Not too
procured
bad.
some new items for you, Mr. Winters. Delighted to.
Yes, please. Rate of fire, get that shit up. Oh, please. We're very close to having it just be incredibly strong. I think I'm willing to part with this.
Your call.
Yes, we can also get rid of the mines and the single
Little
pipe
enough
bomb.
fills the purse, as they say.
And we're still not there. That's okay. Next time.
Good day then.
There it is. There's the typewriter. Let's save. And I guess we'll call it here. Yeah. Because I need to grab a snack and finish work for today. So we will do some more of this some other time. I don't know that this is what we'll do the next time we stream. I guess it wouldn't be, because I plan on streaming this weekend and we're gonna do Dead Space. And no stream on Friday, because, you know, it's Valheim time. And trying to think what else there is. I think that's about it, honestly. Like I said earlier this week, I'll probably be, like, switching between games a lot. We'll, like, stick with, like, 3 or 4. But, I think Scorn, Village, and Last Light are kind of the games that we'll be swapping between for the time being until I settle on something that, you know, I want to do long term. But yeah, that's what I got for now. Thanks, friends, for being in here. I've missed it. I've missed y'all, and I've missed hanging out and doing all sorts of fun stuff. Do y'all want to go say hi to ATM? He was just here earlier. And he's doing some Monster Hunter. But I think that might be nice background noise while I get some food and finish work. Unless anybody has any other recommendations. But we're gonna do it. All right. Yeah, again, thanks y'all for being here. I love y'all. We'll see you on Saturday, I guess, probably, if you're gonna be here and want to hang out. Otherwise, whenever. I'll see you whenever.